Hi everyone, welcome to CAT 24 Slot 3 QA video solutions. And let's start with the first one. And I hope you've gone through the other videos. If you're preparing for CAT, I hope you've gone through the other videos. And the ones who have taken slot 3 can understand what they have done over here or what methods are the best methods to do the questions. So let's start with the first question. The first question was a question on geometry. They've told us a circular plot of land is divided in two regions by a chord of length 10 root 3 meters. So if this is my circle, this is the chord AB, which divides it into two regions. So there's one region above AB and one region below AB, such that the chord subtends an angle of 120 degrees at the center. So this is the angle. The angle over here would be 120 degrees. Then the area in square meters of the smaller region. So the chord is dividing into two regions. We want the smaller region. That means we want this part. So based on our basic knowledge of geometry, we know this is nothing but area of sector minus area of triangle. So I need to work on area of triangle. I know the angle 120 degrees and I know the side AB as 10 root 3. Now I can drop a perpendicular from O. Let's call this as OM. Okay, angle is 90 degrees. So this triangle will become a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This is 90. The perpendicular will also divide the angle into two equal parts, 60, and this will be 30. So we've got a 30, 60, 90 triangle where we know AM, which is the side opposite to AM, which is the side opposite to 60 degrees, is 5 root 3. What are the formulas? We know side opposite to 60 is root 3 upon 2 of the hypotenuse, or root 3 times the side opposite to 30. So therefore, OM will be 5 root 3 divided by root 3 based on the formulas, which becomes 5. Side opposite to 30 is half a hypotenuse, so therefore AO becomes 10. So we got all our three sides for this. Right? What do we want to find? Because I also wanted radius for area of sector and so on. So I want to find area of sector minus area of triangle. So let's first work on area of sector. What will be the area of the sector? Theta upon 360 into pi r square. Theta is 120. All the options are in terms of pi, so I'm not going to put the value of pi. 120 upon 360, which will become 1/3 into pi, remains as it is, r square. Radius is 10, so 10 square will be 100. So the area of the sector is 100 pi upon 3. This has to be subtracted. From this, we have to subtract area of the triangle. Even if I was looking at this much, I know these two options will not be the answer. Because when you might open the bracket up, they give you 80 upon 3 pi, while these two brackets are giving you 100. And in the last option, there is a plus, so that cannot be the answer. The answer will be the first option. Now, that's a smart way of looking at it. But anyway, let's just finish the remaining part. Area of the triangle, I already know AB. AB was 10 root 3, so area of triangle will be half AB, which is 10 root 3, into the height OM, which is 5. So that will become 5 5s are 25 root 3. Subtracting will give me the answer 100 pi upon 3 minus 25 root 3. So I can take a 25 common. That is how it is. 4 pi upon 3 minus root 3, which is the first option. So according to me, a very standard question of geometry, nothing really difficult, based using 30, 60, 90 theorem. So unless you are really weak in geometry, this was a question of level A, otherwise level B. Let's have a look at the next question. One more question of geometry. The midpoints of side AB, BC and AC in triangle ABC are M and P. The three medians are drawn. Okay, so let's first look at that. This is triangle ABC. Three medians, BP, CM and AN. So we have three medians. Obviously, this point will be the centroid. I don't know whether I need it right now or not. Okay, further let's continue. Now, what have they said? Read this very, very carefully. Okay, the medians drawn from ABC intersect the line segment MP, MN and NP at XYZ. That means if I join MP, the median intersects it at X. When I join MN, the BP median intersects it at Y, and PN will intersect CM at Z. So we've got one smaller triangle over here. Further, what have they said? Read very carefully. Now, if the area of the full triangle ABC, they have given us area of triangle ABC is 1440, then what is the area in square centimeter of triangle XYZ? We want to find the area of the small triangle XYZ. Now, if you think logically, the most important part over here, were XYZ the midpoints of MP, MN and PN respectively? Yes, they were. In an exam situation, very frankly, I would not even sit to prove this. Right now, because I'm making a video so that you all can understand it, I'm trying to prove it. Now, M is the midpoint over here, P is the midpoint over here, which means MP will be parallel to BC. MP will be parallel to BC. So, and based on that, if I have a transversal, so if N is the midpoint over here and it's a parallel line, X will also become the midpoint, and that it will go 3 times. Now, once you've got that, the question becomes very, very straightforward. What will be area of triangle MNP first? Now, we know that because we have joined all the midpoints and we've got a triangle, that is always 1/4 of the area of the full big triangle. So, that will be 1/4 of 1440. That should come out to be 360. So, area of triangle MNP is 360. Same way now when I join XYZ, those are also midpoints. So, area of triangle XYZ also will follow the same rule, 1/4 of triangle MNP, and that will be 1/4 of 360, which is 90. You could have directly done it if you were like, this question, if somebody understood it once, no, just draw the diagram and understand it once. It was directly one step, 1/16 of 1440, which is 90. Now, according to me, because it was a very standard question in an exam, you don't want to prove it. Even on gut feeling, if you had just done it, and because it was a theta question, I would put it as a level A question. You should have got this question. There were lot of difficult questions ahead, and hence not missing out such questions was important. Let's have a look at the next question. The number of all positive integers up to 500 with non-repeating digits. Basic permutation combination. Again, not very difficult permutation combination. So, up to 500, that means we will first look for single digit numbers. Single digit numbers anyway, all will be non-repeating, and they're saying positive integers, so 0 will not be considered. So, 1 to 9, it will be 9 numbers. When I go for 2-digit numbers, I will go from 10 to 99. But the problem is some of them will have repeating digits. I want only, what do I want? I want only non-repeating digits. So pay attention. The first digit can be chosen in how many ways? I can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the first digit can be chosen in 9 ways. Whatever digit I chose over here, whether I chose 7 or 6 or whatever, I can't choose it again, but I can use 0 because 10, 20, 30, all those numbers are also there. So I can choose 0. So again, I'll have 9 options. 9 nines are 81. So for double digits, I will have 81 numbers which have non-repeating digits. 3 digits only up till 500. So I'm going from 100 to 500. Now, I want non-repeating digits, right? For the first digit, I can choose only 1, 2, 3, 4 because I want only up till 500. I can't even choose 5. So, for the first digit, I'll have 4 choices. Now, whatever digit I chose over there cannot be chosen again, but 0 can be chosen. So, I have 9 options. And then I will have obviously 8 options. Why 8? Because whatever digits you chose in the first place and the second place cannot be chosen again. So, there will be 72 fours are, there will be 288. Add up all of them, 288 plus 90. That will be 378, and that will be your final answer. Because it was a theta question, because it was permutation and combination, which is normally a weak area for a lot of students, I'm going to consider this as a level B question. Otherwise, in an exam situation, I thought this was a not a very difficult question based on the way it was this year. Let's have a look at the next question. The question does not have any logs in it, but the options are all with logs and log base 10, which means at some stage I'll have to take logs. So pay attention very carefully. 10 raised to x plus 4 times 1 upon 10 raised to x is 81 upon 2. So what I'm going to say is let 10 raised to x be a. Okay. So the two values which you will get for, when you solve the equation and you solve, one will be 10 raised to alpha and the other will be 10 raised to beta. Pay attention very carefully. So what have we got? We've got a plus 4 upon a is 81 upon 2. Make the quadratic equation, you will get 2 times a square plus 4 is 81a. So that will be 2a square minus 81a plus 8 is 0. Now, if I look at the options, nowhere is there a number like 81 or 9 or something like that. So, and they'd asked for the sum of all distinct real values. So, I also was stuck for a minute over here thinking sum of the roots is minus b by a, which is 81 by 2. Nothing is working out. Then I realized you didn't have to use a sum because you wanted to take logs on both sides. You have to use the product. So, what is the product of the roots? Product of the roots is c by a, that is 8 by 2, 4. So, the product of the roots, and I'm putting back the value of a, it will become 10 raised to alpha into 10 raised to beta. The two values of this will give me, or 10 raised to x, whatever you want to call it as, will be what? That will become 4. Take logs on both sides, what will you get? Log 10 raised to alpha into 10 raised to beta is 4. So, what will you get over here now? Log AB. What is log AB? Log A plus log B, and 10 raised to alpha can be written as alpha log 10 plus beta log 10 is equal to log 4, which is log 2 square, which is 2 log 2. I've skipped a couple of steps. I think they were basic steps. Take log 10 common. Alpha plus beta is what you wanted to find, is 2 log 2. So, log 10 was common, sorry. So, alpha plus beta becomes 2 log 2 upon log 10. Log 2 upon log 10 will become log 2 with base 10, which is there in most of the options. Log 2 to the base 10. And hence the answer will be 2 log 2 to the base 10, which is the second option. Not very easy because there were a couple of places you will get stuck over here, this place over here to get stuck, then taking logs on both sides, looking at the options of logs, no question. So, according to me, slightly difficult question, somewhere between a B or a C. B for people who are well prepared for logs, otherwise it's C. Looking at the next question, we realize that there's one more remainder question in slot 3 also, slot 1, slot 2 and slot 3. All three had one remainder question, which were pretty straightforward. Now, this one, 10 raised to 68 divided by 13. Now, if you remember a particular calculation which you have used many times, what is 7 into 11 into 13? Is 1001. Now, we know 7 into 11 into 13 is 1001. What does that tell you? That basically 1000 divided by 13 will leave a remainder minus 1. 1000, why am I working on 1000? Because 10 cube will be 1000. So, I can write my numerator as 10 cube raised to 22 into 10 square upon 13, right? Let's go through that. The power was 68. I broke it up as 66 into 2. 10 cube raised to 22 into 10 square. 10 cube divided by 13. What is 10 cube divided by 13? I just told you remainder will be minus 1. So, it will be minus 1 raised to 22. And 100 divided by 13, normal division, 100 divided by 13, 13 sevens is 91. So, remainder is 9. Minus 1 raised to even number will give a remainder 1 into 9. Hence, my final answer will be 9, which is a very standard method of doing remainders. Very straightforward question, definitely a level A question. Let's have a look at the next question. Slightly longer to read. Lot of things were given. It looked like a maxima minima question, but actually was a very straightforward question. Pay attention carefully. In a group of 250 students, so there were totally 250 students, the percentage of girls was at least 44% or at most 60%. So, girls minimum, so if I am taking the minimum condition for girls were minimum 44%. How much is 44% of 250? I think it will be 110. So, girls were 110, which means boys were 140, right? And on the maximum side, when I consider the girls to be maximum, girls were 60%. 60% of 250 will be 150, which means the boys could be 100. So, there are two possible cases over here, right? And at the end, they have anyway asked that only. If you read the question, the minimum and maximum possible number of students who opted for both swimming and running. So, we will read the conditions further still yet. Let's read. Each student opted for either swimming or running or both. So, everybody's done either one of the activities or maybe both also. If 50% of the boys and 80% of the girls opted for swimming. So let's look at swimming first. 50% of the boys, so 70, and 80% of the girls, so 88 are doing swimming. Over here also I can do that, swimming. 50% of the boys, that is 50 over here, and 80% of 150 will be 20, do swimming. Okay, let's continue further. While 70% of the boys and 60% of the girls opted for running, 70% of the boys will be 98 and 60% of the girls will be 66, do running. Same thing we can do over here also, running. 70% is 70 and 60% is 90 are doing swimming, running, sorry. Now, question asks this, how many people do both? And the range of that, the minimum and the maximum value. Now, let's first come over here. What do we get over here? Now, girls, there are only 110 girls. This is 88 girls and this is 66 girls, which is already 154 girls. 88 plus 80 plus 60 is 140, 140 plus 14, 154. So, which means the number of girls who do both running and swimming will be 154 minus 110, which is 44. 154 minus 110 is 44. Same for boys, this is 168 and boys were only 140, so 28. So 72 students do both the activities in this case when girls were minimum. And same way over here, for both what will I get? This is 210 and the girls are only 150. So 60 girls do both the activities. 120, so 20 boys do both the activities. So 80. Anyway, when we got 72, this option and this option got eliminated. 80 over here and hence answer was the second option. Luckily, by chance, if anybody had worked on this condition first and would have got this 80, they could have directly marked the answer. Whichever way you look at it is slight combination of Venn diagram, percentages and so on. It was just a matter of putting down the data well and doing it. Somewhere between level A and B, A for most of the people. For some people who just got scared looking at the size of the question, maybe a B. Let's have a look at the next question. Looks like a standard question from ratios. Rajesh and Vimal own 20 hectares and 30 hectares of land. Rajesh owns 20 hectares of land while Vimal owns 30 hectares of land. Let's continue further. Which are covered entirely by wheat and mustard crops. The cultivation area of wheat and mustard in the land owned by Vimal is 5:3. So I need to divide 30 in the ratio 5:3. Now, lot of people at this moment would have got the fractions and would have done it in fractions. I decided to read the sum further and see what can be done. If the total cultivation area for whatever, both of them together is 11:9, which also 50 is not divisible by 20. So that was also one issue. Then the area under ratio of cultivation area for mustard in Rajesh's land is how much? I realized that the final answer was asked in a fraction, anyway in a ratio form. So no real numbers were required. So this real numbers could be changed. I wanted to make this a multiple of 8. So I can take it to 120, multiply by 4, I can take this to 120. So I'll have to multiply this also by 4 and make it 80. And I realized because of this, my calculations will become very, very, very easy. Now, what will happen? First, they've told for Vimal, 5:3. So divide this in the ratio 5:3. That will be 75 and 45. So therefore, wheat is 75 and mustard is 45. Dividing 120 in the ratio 5:3. 5 by 8 of 120, 75 and 45, right? And same way, now dividing the total. Total was 200 in the ratio 11:9. That means wheat will be 110 and mustard will be 90. Now, this mustard is 90, mustard over here is 45. So, mustard for this person will be 45 for Rajesh and therefore wheat will be 35. And we want the ratio of this final answer. 35:45. 5 sevens are 5 nines are. Answer is 7:9, which is the third option. Level A, if you were able to change this numbers and make them easier. Otherwise, also you would have just got fractions. Not that it would be very difficult. You would have got 5 by 8 of 30 and you could have written as 40 by 30, 4 by 3. You would have got all fractions over here, which would make your calculation slightly difficult. Not that you will not get the answer because of that. Let's have a look at the next question. A man invests rupees 4,000 in the bank at a certain rate of interest compounded annually. If the ratio of the value of the investment after 3 years to the value of the investment after 5 years. That means the amount after 3 years is to amount after 5 years is 25 to 36. Then minimum number of years required for the value of the investment to exceed rupees 20,000 is how much? That means when will the investment become 5 times or more? Because 4,000 we have started, when will it become 5 times? Now pay attention, let's do the first part where we get the ratio. I'm just going to reverse this ratio. I'm going to write amount after 5 years upon amount after 3 years is equal to 36 upon 25. Now, what is amount after 5 years? Amount is P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to 5 upon P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to 3 is 36 upon 25. P and P cuts out. This whole thing will cut over here. We'll be left with 2 over here. So we are left with 1 plus R upon 100 is 36 upon 25. The whole square is 36 upon 25. Take square root on both sides. 1 plus R upon 100 is 6 upon 5. Take the 1 on the other side. So it will become minus 1. So R upon 100 becomes 1 by 5 and therefore R is 20%. Now was the problem. I needed to figure out how many years will it take for it to become 5 times. That's a huge calculation. Very frankly, luckily you had the calculator over here and you had to use the calculator. So in short, you have to do 1.2 into 1.2 into 1.2. How many times does the answer become greater than or equal to 5? Because you wanted the investment to become, no need to even take 4,000. You just had to make it greater than or equal to 5. And you will realize when you do this, even if you have a regular calculator, if you have a scientific, you can use scientific. If like ZAT has announced that they will give you a scientific calculator. But otherwise, you can just have to keep multiplying 1.2 into 1.2 and you realize that the answer which you're looking for is 9. Bad luck, there were no options for this question which made it slightly difficult. So only because of the last part, it becomes a level B question. Otherwise, till finding the radius, the job was pretty straightforward. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question is a slightly difficult question, so pay attention very carefully. We need to find the now again, the same logic which I had told you all in the slot 1 video also is that there are a lot of questions in CAT this year which were difficult, but they were obviously very difficult. Now this question very obviously looked difficult, and because it was a theta question, number of distinct real values of x, you could just give a random answer 1, 2, 3, whatever, and just leave it and go ahead. Okay, that's way you could have, maybe you would have still got it wrong, but that's a different thing. Number of distinct real values of x satisfying this equation. Now, basically we have 2 sides of it. There can be 1 graph over here and 1 graph over here. I'm going to show you 2 approaches for this question, one with graph and one with values. So let's first think of the first part. Max of x comma 2 minus min of x comma 2. Now think a little bit. First, obviously, let's think at 2. I'm talking only about the left hand side. Now, when I think at 2, what happens? 2 comma 2, max of 2 comma 2 is 2 only. So when x is 2, we will get max as 2, 2 comma 2 is 2, and min is also 2. So for 2, we will get an answer 0, because this answer will also be 2 and this answer will also be 2. So at x is 2, we are going to get a 0. Now let's take a value of x about 2, like a 3 or something. Let's take x 3. I know 2.5 and all also can be logically, but I just want to understand the graph. What happens at 3? So now 3 comma 2. 3 comma 2 will give me 3 minus 3 comma 2 min will be 2. So it is 1. Right? Now same way, if you plot a lot of values, you will understand that the graph for this part will be something like this. Basically at 2 you get a 0. And then the value keeps increasing. If you notice, this graph is also nothing but the graph of mod of x minus 2. Now, obviously, realizing it without doing values will be very difficult. And hence, by putting a lot of values, by putting 0, by putting 2, you get a graph. You get this graph. And then, looking at the graph on the other side, mod of x plus 2 minus mod of x minus 2. Again, by putting values over here, you will realize at x is equal to 2. So, by putting, say, x as 0, what will you get if you put x as 0? You'll get 0 plus 2 over here minus 0, right? So that way you'll get one set, at 0 you'll get 0. So the graph will pass through the origin. At 1, what will you get? At 2, what will you get? You'll get some values. And you realize that from 0 to 2, so when you put 2, x as 2, you get the answer as 4. And then it becomes constant. After that, you put any value for x. You put x as 5, it will still remain 4 only. Like, let's check over here. If you put x 5 for this one, that what will you get? 5 plus 2 is 7. Mod of 7 is 7. Minus 5 minus 2 is 3. So minus 3. Answer will keep coming 4 only. You put any value after that, it will come coming 4. And same way for minus 2, you get 4. And after that, it will keep remaining at 4. So this is the graph. We want to know the number of distinct real values. We don't need the answer. So one value will be this for this equation because this is the point of intersection. And one more value will be this. After these two graphs will never intersect. Hence, the answer for this question was 2. Difficult way of thinking of it, I don't know how many people were able to look at this graph. People who are very good with graphs would have got it through graphs and maybe got it very fast also. Otherwise, it was a C++ question. You should have left it alone. Let's have a look at the next question. This is a standard quadratic question, We've done a similar question in one of the last SimCats also. For some constant real numbers p, k and a, consider the following system of linear equations x and y. So we have two equations. Which is a necessary condition for the system to have no solution. When do you have no solution? When the two lines are parallel. No solution means the two lines are parallel, which means a1 upon a2 has to be equal to b1 upon b2, which is not equal to c1 upon c2. Because if you take it equal to c1 upon c2, the two lines coincide. That means there will be infinite solutions. Okay. Now, what is a1 upon a2? It will be p upon 3. b1 upon b2 is minus 4 upon k, which should not be equal to 2 upon a. So I'm going to go option by option and check. The first option talks about 2a and k. That means these two. What will I get if I cross multiply? I get negative 4a should not be equal to 2k. So 0 should not be equal to 4a plus 2k. And 0 should not be equal to 2a plus k. Which looks right. If I'm very confident or if I'm short on time, I would have marked this answer and gone ahead. But I would otherwise just want to check a couple of options and check what's happening. So for example, A and P, that means considering these two, again not equal. So I should get AP is not equal to 6. Anyway, this option is about equal to. So this cannot be my answer. And even fourth cannot be my answer for the same logic because we are talking about not equal to. And KP and 12. KP and these two are about equal to anyway. If a cross multiple also is about equal to, and this option is about not equal to, so this is not my answer. So hence answer is the first option. So only through equal to and non-equal to also you could have figured out the answer very well. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question is a question on octagon. Again, there are a lot of octagon questions we had done in the SimCat in the last couple of SimCats. And I remember mentioning also that suddenly instead of hexagon, we're seeing a lot of octagon. And here we had a question on octagon. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is a regular octagon of length 6 centimeters, all sides are 6. Then the area of the square ACEG is what? So we need the area of the square ACEG. Now basically if I call this side as x, I want to find x square, right? Let's draw the triangle ABC alone and work on that. So this is ABC. These both are 6, 6. What is the regular angle, the angle of a regular octagon? The exterior angle is 360 upon 8, which is 45, right? And therefore the interior angle will be 135. Now, I want to find this side. Let's call it as I said, let's call it as small b because it is opposite to angle B. So let's call it as small b. I want to find b square. Now, if you notice, this is nothing but direct application of cosine rule. Now, I know a lot of you all would have not known the cosine rule very well, but then you should have left this question alone. Otherwise, it was a direct application of cosine rule. So, what is the cosine rule over here? B square will be equal to a square plus c square minus 2ac cos b. Direct application. So, b square is equal to 6 square plus 6 square minus 2 into 6 into 6 into cos 135. The ones who knew cosine rule would definitely know how to find cos 135 also. Cos in the second quadrant, 135 is in the second quadrant. So cos in the second quadrant will be negative. So this will be a negative value. And cos 135 will be same as sin 45 or as cos 45, which is 1 upon root 2. So you all should know that cos 90 plus theta is minus sin theta, or cos 180 minus theta is cos theta, and so on. So you'll get b square is equal to 36 plus 36, 72 minus 72 into negative 1 upon root 2. So negative is going to become positive. That is why all the options are with positive. Now you just have to worry about the sign properly. 72 minus 36 root 2. cutting out, rationalizing and then cutting 1, 2 out. So minus minus becomes plus. Take 36 common, you'll be left with 2 plus root 2. Answer is the third option. Difficulty level, level C, because as usual, as soon as you see trigonometry, it's going to be slightly difficult to solve it. I would have, in an exam situation, I would have done it because I knew cosine rule well. I was comfortable using the value of cos 135, but maybe most of y'all could have skipped it. Looking at the next question, we realize we have a question from mixtures, which is a slightly difficult question. Pay attention very carefully. A certain amount of water was poured in a 300-liter container. So in a 300-liter container, there was water and the remaining portion of the container was filled with milk. So in the container, there is milk and water both. Then an amount of this solution was taken out from the container, which was twice the volume of water that was earlier poured in it. So then what we are doing is basically whatever water was there, that much we are removing, the mixture we are removing and replacing it with water again. At the end, if there is 72% milk, which is as good as 28% water, then what is the amount of water in liters that was initially poured in the container? So suppose if I start by saying let the amount of water in the container be x liters. So milk was automatically 300 minus x. The only thing which I am going to do over here is instead of 300, I am going to assume it a 100-liter container. At the end, just make it 3 times. So milk becomes 100 minus x, keeps my calculation slightly easier. Okay. Now, what is removed? 2x is removed. Now, when you remove 2x, milk and water both will come out. So, how much water will come out? Suppose water was in the ratio 3:5. So, how much water will come out normally? 3 by 8 of 2x. So how much water will now come out? So, water coming out will be 2x multiplied by x upon 100, because basically total was 100 and water ka part was x. So, 2x into x by 100. And we will add 2x water again to it because we have removed total 2x. And this is equal to 28% of 100 because we assume the size is 100. So 28. Let's solve this. This x plus 2x will become 3x. So we have 3x minus 2x square upon 100 is 28. So let's make a quadratic. 300x minus 2x square is 2800. 0 is equal to 2x square minus 300x plus 2800. It can be divided by 2. So x square minus 150x plus 1400. Luckily, the factors were not very difficult. If you factorize this, you get negative 140 and negative 10. So x comes out to be 140 or x comes out to be 10. X cannot be 140 because water was more than milk at the end. Milk was more than water at the end. So x cannot be 140 because anyway, if it was 140, you can't remove 28. You can't have 140 out of 100, right? So x was out, 140 was out, x is 10. Now, if x is 10, for our question for 300 liters, it will become 30. The only reason to do with 10 was it made my calculation slightly easier. So hence the answer is 30 liters water was there initially. Difficult question from mixtures. I would put it now as level C. Let's have a look at the next question. Again, this is a very similar question to something which was there in slot 1. A plus b root 3 the whole square is 52 plus 30 root 3. So we need the value of a plus b. So I can write a plus b root 3 is square root of 52 plus 30 root 3. Now, we've done a concept which is how to find square root of a plus 2 root b, where you need to write this whole thing as a perfect square. So same logic applying over here, 52 plus 2 into 15 into root 3. The 15 has to go inside the root 3. 15 square is 225. So if it goes inside the root 3, it will become 52 plus 2 into root of 675. I need two numbers whose product is 675 and sum is 52. You will see the logic of it. So which is 25 and 27, like how we do quadratic same way, 25 and 27. So you can write 52 as 25 plus 27 and this as root of 25 into root of 27. Now what can only 25 be written as? It can be written as 5 square. 27 can be written as 3 root 3 square. This is 2 into 5 into 3 root 3. So if you notice, what have we got? We've got a square plus b square plus 2ab. which is nothing but a plus b the whole square. So this whole thing can be written as 5 plus 3 root 3 the whole square. If I take square and square root will cut out. So what will I get? A plus b root 3 will give me 5 plus 3 root 3, right? So what is A? A will come out to be 5 and B will come out to be 3 and A plus B will be 8, which is the third option. For somebody who knew that this was the concept we were applying, it was a pretty straightforward question. Lot of people would have tried squaring both sides and applying it, which gives you the answer, but is a very long method by that process. Let's have a look at a question from time, speed, distance. I thought it was a very straightforward question. A train travels a certain distance at a uniform speed. So speed, distance is speed into time. So speed into whatever time it took, that is a distance. Had the speed been 6 km per hour more, so had the speed been x plus 6, it would need 4 hours less. So t minus 4, that will be my first equation. Let's open the brackets up. St is equal to st minus 4s plus 60 minus 24. St cut. 24 is equal to negative 4s plus 60. 12 is equal to negative 2s plus 3t. That's equation number 1. Let's find the second equation. Had the speed been 6 less, it would have taken 6 hours more. So again, st is equal to s minus 6 into t plus 6. So st is equal to st. That will give me plus 6s minus 60 minus 36. St cut. So we've got 36 is equal to 6s minus 60. So s minus t is equal to 6, or 2s minus 2t is equal to 12, because there is a negative 2s over here. Negative 2s plus 3t is equal to also 12. Adding both the equations, this cuts out. So we get t is equal to 24. They've asked for distance, so quickly find s also. S minus t was 6. So s minus 24 was 6. S is 30. We want to find distance, speed into time, 720 kilometers, which is the fourth option. Slightly long, but very, very standard question of time, speed, distance, level A. Let's have a look at the next question. Gopi marks the price on the product in order to make 20% profit. Ravi gets 10% discount on this mark price and thus saves 15 rupees. Start with 100x. Let the cost price be 100x. So mark price was 120x. Ravi gets a 10% discount on this. So selling price becomes 108x. 10% of 120 is 12x. So 108x is the selling. And thus saves 15 rupees. So 12x is equal to 15. X is 15 by 12. 3 4s are 3 5s are. What do we want to find? Then the profit in rupees made by Gopi by selling the product to Ravi is what? So profit which he makes is 8x. The profit made is 8x because profit is selling price minus cost price. So profit will be 8 into 5 by 4. 4 1s are 4 2s are. Answer will be 10 rupees, which is the first option. Maybe something below level A, then it was that. Again, this is a question you don't miss out in a test situation. Let's have a look at the next question. A slightly difficult question from functions. For any non-zero value, zero real number, f of x plus 2 times f of 1 by x is 3x. Then sum of all possible values of x where f of x is 3 is what? So I need to first find f of x, pay attention. The original equation was f of x plus 2 times f of 1 by x is 3x. Now, you can replace x with 1 by x. So replacing x with 1 by x, what do we get? We get 2 times f of 1 by x. Sorry, not 2 times, only f of 1 by x plus 2 times f of x is 3 upon x, replacing x with 1 by x. So replacing x over here with 1 by x over here with 1 by x, and x over here with 1 by x. So we have two equations where I need to eliminate f of 1 by x. So multiply this equation by 2 and then we will subtract them. So we'll get 2 times f of 1 by x plus 4 times f of x is 6 upon x. Let's say subtract this equation and this equation. So 2 times f of x will cut. 4 minus 1, 3 f of x is equal to 6 by x minus 3x, right? So f of, and we know that f of x was given as 3. We want to know when f of x is 3. So put this as 3. So we'll get 9 is equal to 6 minus 3x square upon x. 9x is equal to 6 minus 3x square. 3x square plus 9x minus 6 is equal to 0. So x square plus 3x minus 2 is 0 is the quadratic equation. This will give me two values of x, and that is what I want to find. I want to find the sum of all possible values. Sum is alpha plus beta minus b by a, so minus 3 by 1, which is minus 3, which is the fourth option. Difficult question. All this part, getting this part was the most important part. After that, the sum was not very difficult. Somewhere between B and C, most probably a C. Let's have a look at one more question from algebra over here. Now, the question spoke about number of distinct integer solutions x comma y of the solution of the equation x plus y mod x plus y plus mod x minus y is equal to 2. So I thought of a couple of approaches for this. One is a non-graphical approach, and then there'll be a graphical approach. Let's think of the non-graphical approach first. So because it is mod and the sum is 2, what are the things I can have? I can have that the first mod is 2, 0. The second mod is first mod is 0, the second mod is 2, or both of them are 1. This is the value of the mods. Now, if mod x plus y is 2, that means x plus y can be 2 or x plus y can be minus 2. So, x plus y is 2 and x minus y is 0 will give me one solution. So, if you solve this, you'll get 2x is 2, x is 1 and y is 1. But x plus y is minus 2 is also possible for this only. X plus y is minus 2 and x minus y is 0. So, this will give me 2x is minus 2 and x is minus 1 and x is minus 1. So, y is also minus 1. So, I already got two solutions over here. Now, the way I have explained these two solutions, exactly same way you can have two more solutions over here. So, no need to explain that again. And when both of them are 1, you will actually get 4 different solutions, because you will get x plus y is 1. At that time, x minus y is also 1. So, if you add up, you get 2x is equal to 2. So, x is 1 and y is 0. But you can also get x plus y is 1 with x minus y is. So, I'll just write all the 4 cases over here. X plus y is 1 with x minus y is minus 1. X plus y is minus 1 and x minus y is 1. And last, both are minus 1. X plus y is minus 1 and x minus y is minus 1. So, you'll get 4 more solutions over here, and we got 4 solutions earlier. So, the number of distinct integral solutions will be 8. Now, you could have also looked at this question graphically. Now, let's understand what it is. So, if you open this bracket up, the first mod positively and the second one negative, or let's assume both of them you open positive, first case both of them positive. So, what do we get? Which line will we get? So, we will get x plus y is 2, right? So, now if you take that line, now understand, if you solve this together, you're going to get x is 1, same thing what you're getting over here. So, you will get the first line x is equal to 1. So, this is the graph. This is say 1, 1, 0, 2, 0 and so on, so on. I've just made the graph. So, the first line will be x is equal to 1. Similarly, you will get a line y is equal to 1. Where will be the line? Same, you will get a line x is equal to minus 1 also. So, you'll get a line x is equal to minus 1. Then you will get a line y is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus 1. And now, if you look at the integral solutions over here, so you'll get one solution over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So, you have 8 solutions by this method also. I preferred the non-graphical approach initially. So, initially I thought that the non-graphical approach was very simple, because once I realized there are 8 values, I didn't have to solve all this. This solving I've shown for you all, but I actually didn't have to solve it in the test situation. Let's have a look at the next question. Again, a very straightforward question. Using options made the question so much easier. After 2 successive increments, Gopal's salary became 187.5% of his initial salary. That means the increment was 87.5%. If the percentage increase of the salary increase, the second increment was twice that of the first. So, if it increased by some percentage, then again increased by double of that. Then the percentage salary in the first increment was how much? If I go via options, if I take 30 as the first increment, I'm going to use successive percentage change. A plus B plus AB by 100. If I use 30 as the first, the second is 60. So it already goes above 90. So no point of even checking. With 25, the second is 50 and the third will be 25 into 50 upon 100. So what do we get? 75 plus 12.5, which is perfect, 87.5. Answer is the second option. No need to even check anything further. Definitely a level A question. If you were doing variable, then what would have happened? You would have to do something of this sort. You would take x plus 2x plus x into 2x square upon 100 was 87.5, and you would get a quadratic equation. So this is 3x into 100, 300x plus 2x square would become 8750, and you would have to solve this quadratic, making it slightly more difficult, and that is why answer was using options was much better, answer being the second option. Let's have a look at the next question. We want to find the product of A, B, C, D, E, F where all these relations were given. Again, very straightforward if you just use logs. 3 raised to A is 4. Take logs on both sides, so you'll get A log 3 is log 4. So A is log 4 upon log 3. Now, same way if you just continue, what will you get? B will be log 5 upon log 4. So when I'm going to multiply these two, I'll be left with what? A into B, I'll be left with log 5 upon log 3. So I'll have to continue that way. C will be, C is 5 raised to C is 6. So it will be log 6 upon log 5. D will be log 7 upon log 6. E will be log 8 upon log 7. And F will be log 9 upon log 8. So if you multiply all of them, things will keep cutting off. Log 4 will cut, log 5 will cut, log 6 will cut, log 7 will cut, log 8 will cut. And the product will come out to be only log 9 upon log 3. Log 9 is 2 log 3 upon log 3. Log 3 cut. Answer is 2. You could do it with indices also. Right, 3 raised to A is 4. So what is 3 equal to, and so on. But I always prefer using logs over here. Makes it much easier for me. Answer is 2. Straightforward question. For some of you all might not have realized this, but there were many questions you've done like this. So you should have got it. Anywhere between A and B level this question would be. Let's have a look at the next question. Again, a question on averages. The average of 3 distinct real numbers is 28. So 3 numbers, average is 28. So let's call them as A plus B plus C is 28. 3s are 84. If the smallest number is increased by 7 and the largest number is reduced by 10, so A minus 7 and the largest number is smallest number is increased by 7 and the largest is reduced by 10, C minus 10. The order of the numbers remain unchanged. That means the 3 numbers remain in the same order. Nothing about B is told, so I'm assuming B remains as it is. Okay. And the new arithmetic mean becomes 2 more than the middle number. So the new arithmetic mean will be B plus 2. So arithmetic mean of these 3, that will be A plus B plus 7 minus 3 upon 3 is equal to B plus 2. So I should get one equation over here. So I'll get A plus B plus C minus 3 is 3B plus 6. So I've got A minus 2B plus C is equal to 9. We've got one more equation. Let's read further what have it told us. While the difference between the largest and the smallest number becomes 64. So this minus this becomes 64. So C minus 10 minus A minus 7 is 64. So I get C minus A is 64 plus 17. That will be 81. Then what is the largest number in the original set of these 3 numbers? So I want to find C. So take any, basically over here you can eliminate B over here between these 2 equations. If you eliminate B, you'll have to multiply this equation by 2. So you'll get a 2A plus 2B plus 2C is 168. Subtract them, B will cut out. So you'll get 3A plus 3C is 168 plus 9, 177, right? So we'll get 3A plus 3C is 177 divided by 3. A plus C is equal to 177 divided by 3. 3 5s are 3 9s are. And we already know C minus A. C minus A is 81. Now, which will take A to negative, which is okay because they had not said anywhere that the numbers were all whole numbers or whatever. Subtract, add 2C becomes 140 and C becomes 70. Lot of people at this stage would have kind of got a little bit worried that, how is A coming out to be negative? Nowhere they mention that the numbers cannot be negative and therefore C is 70. That is the largest number we wanted to find. Not very difficult, but maybe not very straightforward also, maybe a level B. Let's have a look at a question from time and work. Sam can complete a job in 20 days working alone. So Sam can do the work in 20 days. Mohit is twice as fast as Sam. So Mohit should take only 10 days. But he is also thrice as fast as Aina. So Aina should take 30 days. Right? And at this stage, I can take the total work to be 60, the LCM of these three numbers, which Sam will do 3 units per day, Mohit will do 6 units per day, Aina will do 2 units per day. Fair enough? So we are more or less done here. They undertake a job with an arrangement where Sam and Mohit work together on the first day. So on the first day, Sam and Mohit are working. On the second day, Sam and Aina are working. And on the third day, Mohit and Aina are working. And this 3-day pattern is repeated till the work gets completed. Then what fraction of the work is done by Sam? Now, we need to figure out how much work is done in first 3 days. So Sam and Mohit, so 3 plus 6, 9 units. Sam and Aina is 3 plus 2, 5. And Mohit and Aina is 8. That will be 14 plus 8, 22 units are done. And we need to reach 60 units. So on the first set of 3 days, 22 units will be done. Second set of 3 days, 22 units will be done. So 44 is done. Then so 6 days are over. So on the 7th day, 9 will be done. So 53 is done. On the 8th day, 5 is done. So again, 58 is done. On the last day, instead of 8, only 2 units are done. Anyway, last day Sam was not there. We want to know the fraction of the work done by Sam. So over here, the first 3 days, Sam works twice. So 3 plus 3 for Sam. Again, over here, he works thrice. So again, 3 plus 3. In this 9, Sam is there, so he will do 3. And in this 5 also, Sam is there. And here there is no Sam. So Sam is working 6 days in all. So Sam is doing 18 units in all out of 60 units. So therefore, the fraction will be 18 upon 60. 6 3s are, 6 10s are. Answer is the second option. Standard question of time and work. Nothing really difficult. Definitely, you should consider this as level A. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question looks very difficult, but was not as difficult as it looks. Maybe a lot of people would have left it looking at it. So in a sequence, the first term is 1 and the second term is minus 1. And then there's a property given for finding the remaining terms. And we want to find the value of something. So we'll come to that later. Let's first find the terms. T1 is 1, T2 is minus 1. What will T3 come as? T3 will be 3 minus 3, 0 upon anything into anything is 0 only. So no need to check. T3 is directly 0. What about T4? T4 will be 4 minus 3, 1. 4 minus 1, 3 into T2, which is minus 1. So T4 will be minus 1 upon 3. What about T5? T5 will be 5 minus 3, 2 upon 5 minus 1, 4 into T3, which is 0. So this will anyway become 0. So looks like every odd term after T1 will keep, T3, T5, all of them will keep becoming 0. What about T6? Just to get a pattern, we've got a negative 1 upon 3. T6, what will we get for T6? 6 minus 3, 3, 3 by 5 into T4, that is negative 1 by 3, so 3, 3 cut again. So negative 1 by 5. So this also looks like a pattern, negative 1 by 1, negative 1 by 3, negative 1 by 5, negative 1 by 7 and so on. Now we want to find 1 upon T2. 1 upon T2 will be negative 1. 1 upon T4 will be negative 3. 1 upon T6 will be negative 5. Then negative 7 and so on till where? Pay attention very carefully. So basically when we took T4, this was 3. When T6, this was 5. up till the last term will be 2021 or 24 minus 1, that will be 2023. So that will be negative 2023. Now I want to find the sum of all these, take a negative common, I'll get 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 up till 2023. These are all odd numbers. You want to use the formula of arithmetic progression, you can do that, but I would do all odd numbers. Sum of all odd numbers is n square. How many numbers are there? It will be, if you take all the numbers, so if you take the first two numbers, how do you check two numbers? It will be 3 plus 1, 4 divided by 2. Or is it 3 numbers, 5 plus 1, 6 divided by 2. So 2023 plus 1, 2024. 2024 divided by 2, that will be 1012. So there are 1012 numbers, so my answer will be 1012 square with a negative sign. Now, if it's a square of 2, it will have to end in 4. No need to check the calculations or whatever. Answer is the first option, which is negative 1024144. That's your answer. With that, we come to the end of this video for slot 3. I hope this has helped you all. Best of luck for the other test.